right, so now that we've created a drum rack and added our sounds, let's talk about how to actually program drums. And to do that, we have to create a clip. So just as a quick refresher, the clips are here in the session view. Now, currently we don't have any clips created, but this is where the clips are. And then a scene is an entire row of all the different clips playing at the same time. So what we're going to do is we're going to create one clip of drums right now. So this is our drum rack track. What we do right up here, we right click or two finger press our trackpad or control click right here. And then you'll get an option that says insert MIDI clip. So I'm going to do that. And now you see we actually have a clip, and you'll see that the window down here changed. So now this window right here is the actual clip view. Now you can switch between the device view and the clip view by clicking down here. So if I want to select the device, basically the drum rack, I click right here. And now we can see that we have the drum rack. And then if I want to see that clip again, I can click over here and that will show us the clip view. Another quick way to get to these things is if I want to see whatever device is on this track, I double click on the name, the title, and now you'll see that we have the device. And if I want to see the clip, I double click on the clip, and now we have the clip view. Cool. So we have a clip. We can move it wherever we want, as you know from last week. But right now this clip is completely empty. So if we hit play, we get a whole lot of nothing. Okay, so what we have right now is we just have one bar of nothing. So that's fine. Now, to program the drums, I'm going to actually show you how to use the piano roll. So inside of our clip view, we'll have our piano roll, which you see right here, and it has the names of all the different sounds that we brought into our drum rack. We have this column of kicks, snares, hi-hats, and open hi-hats. Yep. So I'm going to go back to the clip, and you see these are all the same names of the sounds that are in our drum rack. Now, if I wanted to quickly hear what one of these sound like, for example, what does the Kick Burst 2 sound like, I'm going to want to hit this little button right here. And this button is called the MIDI Editor Preview. Basically, if this is pressed and this is turned blue, you can click on these keys and hear what sound it is. So I'm going to select it. You'll notice now that it's blue. And you see that we can go in and actually hear what sounds we have. Also notice that if I'm hovering over the names, it has a magnifying glass. So when the magnifying glass is there, I can scroll up or down through the different sounds. Okay, so let's program some kicks and snares for starters. So I'm going to start off with the snare. Let's see, let's find a good snare. There's that one. I'm going to go with the classic, the 808 snare. All right, so if I want to actually draw a snare sound in here, I'm actually going to go up to this button right here, and that's the draw mode switch. Looks like a little pencil drawing on a piece of paper. So if I select that button, when my cursor is down here, it turns into this draw tool. Another quick way to get to it is just the letter B on your keyboard. You'll notice the letter B lets me switch back and forth. That's something else to take note of as well. When I'm hovering over any button, for example, I'm hovering over the draw mode switch. If you look down here in the info view window, not only does it tell you what the draw mode switch does, but it also shows you the quick key. That's B in draw mode. So that's just like a little pro tip. The info view will show you quick keys for all your different things in the software, which is pretty nice. All right, cool. So we're gonna come back here to our snare. It's right here. And for right now, I'm gonna do some very basic boom bap drums. So in boom bap drums, boom bap hip hop drums, that is, Snares go on the 2 and the 4 beats. So right up here you see we have our bar beat ruler, and right now it's displaying like for example that's bar 1, and that's the only bar we have. So that's bar 1, that's bar 1 beat 2, that's bar 1 beat 3, that's bar 1 beat 4, so on. So for a boom bap pattern, a boom bap underground hip hop pattern, I would want to put a snare on the 2 and on the 4. Another quick thing I want to adjust is my tempo. So up here in the top left, I can adjust my tempo. It's currently at 120. That's what it defaults at. But for right now, since I'm going to go with boom bap hip hop, I'm going to go down to a very classic BPM, which is about 91. Standard boom bap hip hop hovers anywhere between 88 and like 95, 96 at the fastest. There's always exceptions to the rule, but that's some of the common range of the tempo. So right now we have 2 snares, and I'm gonna hit play and we're gonna see what it sounds like. Okay, cool. So we have our snares. Only thing about these snares is it's only 1 bar. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna double this bar up. And the way you do that is right over here, there's a little button called duplicate loop. And what that'll do is it'll just take whatever you have and double it. So if I hit that button, you'll notice now we have 4 snares. So now I have a nice standard 2-bar loop. So let's play that. All right, cool. So let's add a kick. So all right, I'm just gonna try this kick. So if you wanted very, very standard drums, this is all you gotta do. You put kicks on the 1s and the 3s. So this is bar 1 beat 1, this is bar 1 beat 3, this is bar 2 beat 1, this is bar 2 beat 3. So if I put kicks on the 1 and the 3, it would go like this. Cool. So like I said, very, very simple. Now let's add some hi-hats. So we have a bunch of different hi-hats to choose from. I'm gonna pick this one. Okay, so with hi-hats, it's really easy to program hi-hats, especially if you use the grid. So I'm gonna right click anywhere in this area and you'll get a menu, and I am going to change my grid to 8 notes. So if I pick 8 notes, it means every one of these lines, these grid lines, is an 8th note. So then all I have to do is click and drag my draw tool, and it'll draw a hi-hat in every grid point, and then you get this. Simple enough. So check this out. Here's something that's cool. If you select everything, like all these notes on this hi-hat, and you can select everything by clicking on the key itself, it'll select everything. You can use your arrows on your keyboard to move the actual MIDI notes up or down to trigger different sounds. So for example, instead of triggering this hi-hat fat mat break close hi-hat, I could make it go all the way up here to this hi-hat future MPC closed. Or for example, if I want to switch the kicks, I can select all the kicks by clicking on the key, and then just like that. Also, something you can do is, you notice I'm scrolling up or down to seeing the different notes. If I wanted to, I could take this entire window, hover my mouse right about here, and I can click and drag it up so I can see everything instead of having to scroll up or down, which is kind of helpful as well, obviously. Let's add an open hat at the beginning. There it is. Just put an open hat. Okay, so let's actually play with the kicks a little bit and make them a little bit better than they are right now. They're very simple. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to right click, switch my grid to 16th notes, and then I'm just going to add some kicks in different spots. Just kind of see what it does. So you see, as long as you have that grid on, you can just kind of try whatever you want. I mean, you can go absolutely crazy. I can do all of this here. I mean, I don't know if that qualifies as absolute crazy, but it's a lot of kicks. More than I'd actually want if I was really programming these drums. So I'm going to get rid of those. Maybe put that there. Okay, cool. So now we have one clip full of our drums that we programmed. Let me lower the size of this again. And we're going to come up here, and this is our clip that we created, and it's showing up down here. So if I hit play here, it plays. If I hit play here, it plays the entire thing, which is just this one. Or I could hit play on the scene, and it'll play the whole scene, which once again is just one clip. Okay. Not too bad. Now, the volumes. The volume levels of these different instruments, these different kicks and snares and everything, are a little bit off to me. And if I want to adjust them, I would go right up here to this little button right here. And this is the chain mixer fold button. So right now we have one drum track, but if I hit this button, it would extend this one track all the way out and show a volume fader for each and every sound that we have in our piano roll and inside of our drum rack. So what that allows us to do is play the drums and then mix the drum rack a little bit easier. So for example, I think the hi-hats are a little bit loud. And I can see right here, this is where they are. So I'm just going to turn them down. Just like that. So once you build your drum rack and once you start programming your drum clips, you can also go in there and individually mix each sound to get the whole overall drum kit to sound how you like it. And then once you're done, you hit that button again and it drops everything back down. So that way you have a nice compact drum track instead of having, 20 faders all there every time. You can kind of hide them away and only open them up when you need them, which is pretty beneficial in my personal opinion. So something else you can do is once you have a clip like we just created, I can make a copy of this clip like you know how to do from week 1. So let's do that first. I'm going to select it and I'm going to hit Command D on my keyboard and create a second version. I'm going to bring this down here so it's out of the way. And on this particular clip, this one, I'm actually going to go in here and I'm going to delete my hi-hats. So I'm going to select that key and I'm just going to hit delete on the keyboard and they go away. So now if I hit this clip, no hi-hats. If I hit our original clip, it has hi-hats. So you could probably tell where I'm going with this. You can have a lot of different versions of your drums to choose from when you're creating a song. Now, to keep track of these, you're going to want to name them. So the same way that you went in and named scenes, we can name clips. So one way to do it is right click, go to rename, and I'm going to call this drums 1. But for this particular one that doesn't have hi-hats, I'm actually going to use the shortcut key. I'm going to hit, when it's selected, hit Command R, and I'm going to name this no hats. So this one has the full drums. That's why I'm calling it drums 1. This one has no hats. You can do something like this. You could bring another copy down. And by the way, I just clicked and dragged holding Option. So for this one, I could actually go down here to the piano roll, click and drag down, and delete all of that. And now we have only hi-hats in this one. So I can come up here and name this hats only. You know, I tell you what, let's do like a little fill, a little version of a fill. So I'm going to take another copy of our main drums. And by the way, whatever you have selected is the one that shows up down here in the clip view. So make sure that you select your clip that you're going to be working on. Otherwise, you might accidentally be editing one that you had ready to go already. So I'm going to come down here to this one, and this is going to be a fill. And you know, fills are pretty easy for the most part. You know, you just got to keep messing around with them. I mean, fills, if you're a drummer, naturally you can play a fill and it's very easy. When you're drawing a fill in, it's a little weird. So you just got to kind of play with it. So for example, we have our snare here. I'm on a 16 note grid. So I'm just going to throw some snares in. Let's see what this sounds like. Cool. Let's add a couple kicks. I find with fills, you know, you just want to kind of get crazy with some stuff. I'm going to actually click and drag over some hi-hats, because the thing that's interesting is if you click once, it draws. If you click on it again, it erases. So now it sounds like this. Maybe you want to add some open hi-hats in there. So it is what it is. It's a basic fill. I don't know if I love it. It sounds a little drum machine-y, if that's a word. But you know, you play with it, you mess around with it. You know, there's things you can do. For example, if I get rid of draw mode by turning that off, and I just select like these snares, maybe I move these snares to a different snare for the fill. It is what it is. So there's our fill, and I would come back up here and I would rename it fill 1. So now we've gone in and we've created 4 different versions of our drums that we can use when we're creating our piece of music this week.